Now on CoastTV News.
Dispensary debate. A bill that limits county control over where pot shops can go just moved forward. What it means for the future of the marijuana market in Delaware. Parking proposal. Fenwick Island looks at a new plan to ease the squeeze, how local businesses would be impacted. Plus a heat wave hustle. As temperatures soar, air conditioners are working overtime, and so are the repair crews keeping them running.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
As the Trump administration ramps up immigration enforcement, the backlash is growing. Good evening. I'm Christina DeRobertis. Thanks for joining us. Today, federal workers and union members rallied against immigration and customs enforcement and its activities in places like Chicago, New York, and Pasadena. As Sherelle Hubbard reports, the rallies were sparked by recent ICE raids targeting undocumented migrants.
Down with deportation!
Federal workers and labor union members joined immigrant justice advocates for picketing in Chicago Wednesday, demanding an end to immigration and customs enforcement raids and detainments inside public buildings.
They are afraid to show up to federal workplaces for fear of being arrested or disappeared in an ICE operation.
Union President Colin Smalley says their mission is being compromised.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office.
They took time out of the rally to take their oaths again publicly. In Pasadena, California, protesters waved signs that said, quote, "ICE out of Home Depot," and "protect our communities." One man likening the current ICE raids to the actions of Nazi Germany.
In Germany back in the 30s with the Jews being rounded up like this, and this is exactly what is happening to this country.
The Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration aligns with campaign promises the president made to secure the borders and, quote, "make America safe again."
We will begin the largest deportation operation.
But opponents to the administration's tactics continue to speak out. In Tennessee, supporters of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Maryland man accused of being linked to the MS-13 gang by the Trump administration and mistakenly deported to an El Salvador prison due to an administrative error, accused ICE of depriving detainees of their rights.
This administration continues to negate and ignore the rule of law.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Now back here in Delaware, a young car theft suspect is believed to have led police on one of two multi-county car chases out of Dover on Friday. Delaware State Police say a 10-year-old was behind the wheel of one pursuit that was through Kent and Sussex counties. The boy, also a 13-year-old girl, and 32-year-old Jonathan Bennett were eventually taken into custody. Bennett is being held on an $11,000 bond. The children have been released to their guardians. Now, in the other car chase, investigators say the driver slammed on the brakes, injuring 3 people and the trooper chasing them. In Dover today, a last-minute push on marijuana zoning legislation. The House just passed Senate Bill 75. The bill would limit the restrictions that counties can impose on marijuana businesses. It would also make it easier for medical dispensaries to sell recreationally. The bill's sponsor has said strict zoning in Sussex County specifically has been a big roadblock for hopeful businesses, although people opposing the bill have called it government overreach. Senate Bill 75 now heads to Governor Meyer's desk for approval. And speaking of the governor, this morning he was in Rehoboth Beach celebrating a major milestone for Sussex County Habitat for Humanity, the nonprofit dedicating their 200th home today. Congrats to the newest homeowner, Ryan, and his family. Well, we've been telling you about ways that people continue to try and beat the heat, but there may be no better solution than a good air conditioner. With many of us cranking our ACs all day long, that also means plenty of problems have kept HVAC repair crews busy. Today we caught up with Ben Carter from Real HVAC. He says they've been flooded with repair jobs.
It's crazy right now. Us and every other company in town is probably going just a little bit crazy trying to get out to you and make sure that you and your family are cool.
Yep, and Carter says regular maintenance and making sure the filters are clean will help keep the systems from breaking down. You can even turn off and hose down your condenser to make sure you're getting the coldest air possible. This does bring us to our CoastTV poll tonight. We want to know, do you change how you use electricity during heat waves like this? Looking at the results, 10% say they try to use less AC, 42% say they shift usage time, 48% say they don't change anything. No one is trying but forgetting, so that's good. You can still vote. Let us know what you think. Go to coasttv.com or use our mobile app. Now we're taking a live look outside into Lewis, and we're going to turn things over to our first alert meteorologist, Chris Mastrobono. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Christina. Well, we smashed another record high today on Delmarva, back-to-back 100-degree days. 101 was our official high. 96 was the previous record set back in 1952. We saw 100 in Salisbury, 97 in Cambridge, 98 Wallops Island, 93 in Ocean City. It's been a hot stretch, 90-plus from last Wednesday on. We kicked it into high gear early this week with the upper 90s to lower hundreds. 81 right now in Milford. It is a steamy night right now. 87 degrees in Rehoboth Beach at 11 o'clock at night. We had showers and storms to our north and to our south. We are going to stay dry and warm through the overnight. Clear skies to start, warming us up to the low 90s for one last day. We'll see showers and storms develop through the afternoon, some of which could be on the severe side with a brief damaging wind threat. Still seeing those heat indices anywhere from 100 to 105 tomorrow. We will see a cold front push through Friday. That will lower the temperatures below 90, keep the humidity in place, and we do have a chance of thunderstorms over the weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up in the full 7-day forecast. Christina?
All right, thank you, Chris. And with the weather in mind, humane animal partners are in need of supplies to keep animals busy as that extreme heat is keeping animals indoors. They say they're running low right now on wet food, soft dog treats, cooling mats, sprinklers, and toys like Kongs. The health of Delaware hospitals is on full display tonight. The state's Healthcare Association released its Delaware Hospital Impact Report. It shows that hospitals are the largest private sector employee in the state. More than 10% of the state's total employment comes from hospitals, according to the report. They also add $9 billion in services. The report also outlines emerging issues, which includes concerns over Medicaid cuts from the federal government. Well, parking problems are on the agenda in Fenwick Island. Town leaders looking at ways to let businesses share spots between their lots. The proposal would only allow businesses to share spots for employees. Businesses would enter a formal agreement and submit that request through the town. Some business owners say they think the idea would free up more parking for customers, but others say it should only be the first step.
Shared parking with employees has gotten some traction and is a help, but the town has got to go farther and figure out something to help with overflow customer parking.
Now, Fenwick Island's mayor says the proposal will be up for a second vote at this Friday's council meeting. She says the first vote passed through council. Well, we are still waiting to hear when a special election will be held for District 20. This after Stell Parker Selby resigned Tuesday after being absent the entire legislative session. In the meantime, Republican Nikki Miller is making another run for District 20. She officially filed for the 2026 election today. Miller nearly flipped the seat in 2024, losing to Parker Selby by just 275 votes. Miller says she's hoping to run in the special election once filing opens, but says the 2026 race was already on her radar.
I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm excited. I'm actually really excited for the opportunity of a special because I think that's something that a lot of people don't get the chance to do. And so I'll be able to learn, hopefully if I'm the selected candidate, but I'll be able to learn the process of a special. And now that I know what a regular campaign looks like, how to accelerate that.
Now, no Democrats have filed for the District 20 seat in the 2026 election yet. Officials with the District 20 Democratic Committee say they are interviewing candidates for the special election this weekend. Now to Georgetown, where the town's Circle Advisory Committee met today, talking about ways to make the Georgetown Circle safer, that following a number of crashes there. As CoastTV News' Zakia Jennings reports, there were a lot of topics on the table today.
Driving in circles. It's something everyone who's been through Georgetown has to do, and keeping this circle safe is the goal of the Georgetown Circle Advisory Committee, a committee created after people somehow kept running into the circle.
We were formed last year in response to the number of traffic accidents we were having and damage being done to the circle.
Georgetown's town manager, Gene Dvornik, says there have been multiple additions to the circle to help increase safety and awareness.
We've got the right-hand turn arrows. We've put up speed limit signs indicating you're entering the circle 15 miles. We also have a flashing light.
Charlie Koski is on the Circle Advisory Committee, and along with safety, the group is looking at the placement of the monuments for 2 fallen officers that were destroyed by cars. That's an issue that has been a little divisive, with the committee and the town considering moving the monuments, while the families of the fallen officers want them returned to their original locations.
There's some changes to be made with the monuments. The town is taking into consideration the family's feelings about that, and I just look forward to it being more safe for the general public.
No final decisions have been made on the monuments just yet. For now, the committee is still weighing options, with the ultimate goal of making the circle safer for everyone.
And that was Zakia Jennings reporting. Now, Dvornik says the town is working with Delmarva Power to add another street light on North Bedford Street. He says that's in the design phase right now. We will keep you updated. And we still have a lot more news coming your way tonight. Still ahead, more heat wave problems. Roads are cracking in Sussex County. We'll tell you how soon they could be fixed. But first, multiple power outages in Lewis are causing concern. We hear from the Lewis Public Library on that.
And we're going to continue our heat wave in both Cambridge and Crisfield, at least through Thursday. We get a brief break from the 90s into Friday before we go right back up to near 90 over the weekend. We'll talk about storm chances as well. My full forecast is back in just 60 seconds. Well, we had ourselves another record breaker on Delmarva today, looking live into a very warm and muggy Dover, 85 degrees, and we haven't seen much in the way of relief at night over this past stretch of extreme heat. We have actually breaking some record lows over the past 2 nights. We're at 87 in Rehoboth, 85 in Georgetown, cooled down to 79 there in Laurel, but still feels like 93 in Bethany Beach, feels like 89 in Georgetown when you factor in the humidity. 101 was our high today after a morning low of 77. Average is 86, and there's that record, 96 back in 1952. So we crushed that today, and we've been well in the upper 90s to back-to-back 100-degree days here. And we're going to see one more 90-degree day tomorrow before we see a bit of a cool down into Friday. But unfortunately, humidity isn't going anywhere really for the foreseeable future, at least through the early part of next week. Now, we have no active heat advisories through southern Delaware, but heat advisory up for Kent, Maryland, Queens Anne, and Talbot, and as well as Newcastle County. Still going to see some triple-digit heat indices tomorrow across most of Delmarva. We're dry. We had storms to our north, storms to our south, high pressure retreating, and this backdoor cold front's going to be pushing through Friday. So there's those rain chances, scattered variety over the next few days, and then we have a better chance Sunday night and then into Tuesday as a more significant cold front rolls through. Partly cloudy overnight, mid to upper 70s. We're going to see those heat indices 100 to 105 tomorrow, and then we are humid, cloudier but cooler as far as the temperatures go into Friday. So PM storms kind of blossoming over the area tomorrow. Lower 90s inland eastern shore, upper 80s along the coast. And there's those heat indices once again tomorrow afternoon, 100 to 105. And then as we go into Friday, we say so long to the triple-digit heat indices. But the Storm Prediction Center maintaining that 1 out of 5 risk. Could see a isolated severe storm tomorrow. Primary threat, damaging wind in excess of 60 miles an hour. So by 3 o'clock tomorrow, you can see some of those storms kind of blossoming over the area. Georgetown, across Salisbury, Selbyville, kind of pop-up variety. I don't think everyone's going to see rain, and then that kind of subsides as the sun goes down. But then as that front slides through, we see a few scattered showers into early Friday morning. A lot of cloud cover, east wind, temperatures barely getting to 80 degrees. Saturday, we warm right back up to near 90 with a late thunderstorm chance, and then a better chance of storms Sunday night, and then Monday, you guessed it, another chance of some afternoon storms. And then Tuesday, we see a stronger cold front come through, drying us out into next Wednesday. So we're at 75 overnight, partly cloudy, 91 tomorrow, last day of the heat wave with those PM thunderstorms. And then we're down to 80 on Friday, still on the muggy side with the scattered showers and storms. So the weekend, Not a washout, but we'll see much warmer conditions. We're back up to near 90 really Saturday through Tuesday, and then that stronger front moves through Tuesday, dropping us down to 86 by next Wednesday.
All right, thanks again, Chris. Well, over in Lewis, the city has been dealing with reoccurring power outages this week. One location that was hit, the Lewis Public Library. They, of course, use the internet to keep track of incoming and outgoing rentals, but the library also serves as an unofficial cooling center for the city. Officials there say they got lucky with the timing of yesterday's outages.
We lost power total 3 times like the rest of Lewis. So if it had happened earlier in the day, we definitely would have had to close and have people leave. We were able, because it was so close to closing time, it wasn't so bad, but it got very, very warm.
Now, the president of the Lewis Board of Public Works, Tom Panetta, says this is a regional problem with the grid provider for the area, and he says people should try their best to conserve electricity. And because of the heat, roads have started to buckle. This happened on multiple roads in Sussex County, including on Route 113, Route 1 near Milford, and 1 near 5 Points in Lewis. DelDOT says this happens when the pavement materials expand in the heat. The agency also says it's using grinding equipment to smooth out the roads and remove any danger. We're going to check on our CoastTV poll one more time now that we're talking about the heat again. We want to know, do you change how you use electricity during heat waves? Not a big change. 10% still say they try to use less air conditioning. 43% say they shift usage time, and 46% say no change, but we do have 1% now saying they try, but they forget. We want to know what you think. You can still vote. Go to coasttv.com or use our mobile app. Coming up next, Pride and Age, highlighting the unique challenges older LGBTQ+ adults face and what's being done to help.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
Well, it looks like the Trump administration's tariffs are taking a toll on toys. Prices for many dolls, stuffed animals, blocks, and games rose 2.2% between April and May. Analysts say that's an unprecedented increase, and it's largely the result of the U.S. new trade policies. According to the Census Bureau, roughly 75% of the toys sold in the U.S. come from China, which is currently dealing with a 30% tariff from the Trump administration. Earlier this year, that fee was as high as 145%. Spirit Halloween is looking to conjure up some help for the upcoming spooky season. The pop-up retailer has announced plans to open more than 1,500 locations this year. And so it says it will need 50,000 seasonal employees to staff those stores, which usually open in August. Meanwhile, dating app Bumble announced it's laying off 30% of its workforce. In a regulatory filing, it said it amounts to about 240 jobs and will save the company $40 million a year. The company says it will reinvest a substantial majority of that money into new products and tools. Bumble's stock has plummeted 90% since it went public in 2021. As Pride celebrations continue around the country, one often overlooked sector of the community is the elderly. And while aging comes with a wide range of concerns, both financial and physical, older LGBTQ+ individuals have specific challenges. Karen Kafa shares what advocates say medical professionals can do to improve care.
It's a rapidly growing population with a unique set of challenges.
There are over 3 million LGBTQ older adults in this country, and we're estimating that is probably going to grow to over 7 million by 2030.
According to the American Association of Retired Persons Dignity 2024 survey, the largest concern for older LGBTQ+ adults is social isolation, which could mean lacking the support they will need as they age.
The LGBTQ community is more likely to be single, less likely to have children, and some of those social connections that we would assume from a family or biological connection aren't there.
The survey also found a number of queer adults feel vulnerable in healthcare spaces, particularly trans and non-binary people, with a third saying their quality of care has been compromised.
Anytime you find a new doctor, you have to come out again. And it's a challenge sometimes to find good healthcare professionals who understand all the needs of the community.
Ernesto Finales with the nonprofit advocacy group SAGE says medical providers should take time to understand where these patients are coming from.
I think part of that is really connecting with the community and making sure that their voices are elevated.
And for members of the community looking to take control of their future,
it really is a matter of planning, not only in terms of caregiving and who is able to care for you as you age, but also making those financial decisions so that you're prepared to make the decisions that you want.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Coming up in sports, it's NBA draft night. We see which pieces the Philadelphia 76ers and the Washington Wizards added to their team for next season.
We salute Donald Fitzgerald. Donald Fitzgerald served bravely with the 1st Cavalry Division during the Vietnam War. While stationed in An Khê, he carried out the dangerous and vital task of recovering downed aircraft and equipment under combat conditions. His courage and dedication exemplify the strength and sacrifice of those who served. We proudly salute Mr. Fitzgerald for his honorable service to our nation.
Spicer Brothers and CoastTV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a CoastTV salute, go to coasttv-salutes.com.
Extreme heat, it's not only dangerous to physical health, it can significantly impact mental health as well, especially for those with a mental illness and people experiencing homelessness. In tonight's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains the mental risks associated with high heat and how to protect those at highest risk.
If the soaring temperatures have you feeling a little irritable, you're not alone.
Mental health in extreme heat is a real issue.
Clinical psychologist James McCowan with Massachusetts General Hospital says high heat exposure may cause those with underlying conditions like depression or anxiety to have heightened symptoms that can include increases in suicidal thinking, violent behavior, and substance use.
We know people with mental health issues have high rates of emergency room admissions in the context of heat waves.
McCowan says having a heat plan can help. First, before going out, check not only daily temperatures, but also the heat index so you know just how hot it's expected to be and to feel. Next, know your risks. Certain medications like antidepressants and antipsychotics may affect the body's ability to cool itself.
So talking to your prescriber or your primary care doctor is really key here, just to know if you're an at-risk person.
And stay hydrated, which includes drinking water, but also being aware of your caffeine intake. Finally, have a plan to get cool during the day if you need to. For those who are unhoused, that could include a cooling center or a public space with air conditioning.
There are even heat first aid kits you can get online. They have electrolytes, they have cooling things you can have stored in your home if you're in a place that experience extreme heat.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening, sports fans. Tonight is the NBA draft where college basketball players' dreams are coming true. Let's check in with our local teams.
The 76ers went into the night with the 3rd overall pick. There has been a ton of talk about who they will take. Will it be traded? Well, they kept the 3rd overall pick and selected VJ Edgecombe. After Ace Bailey was the potential 3rd overall pick, the Sixers did not want to take a chance on the player that declined the workout in Philadelphia. They go with Edgecombe from Baylor. The wing is known for his defense and two-way potential entering the league. He led all Big 12 freshmen in scoring, 15 points per game, and all freshmen in steals with 68, 3.8 steals per 100 possessions. The Sixers are guard-heavy going into next season. And the Washington Wizards made a splash last night with NBA trades, bringing in C.J. McCollum. And they look to add to that with the 6th overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft. They go with Trey Johnson from Texas. The 6'6" guard averaged just under 20 points per game a season ago, which led all NCAA freshmen. With 3.1 rebounds, 2.7 assists. In addition, he earned SEC Freshman of the Year. His scoring and playmaking ability makes him a good fit for the Washington Wizards.
That over sports. Have a great night, everybody. We'd like to say congratulations tonight to a lucky Delmarva radio listener. Tonight in Long Neck, we gave away a trip for 4 to Walt Disney World in Florida, and the lucky winner was Diana Fogg from Rehoboth.
Oh my God, it was so much fun. You guys are awesome. Coast Country rocks. I listen to you guys all the time. I'm Delmarva proud, and I've lived on the Eastern Shore my whole life, so this is like a dream come true for me.
And that contest aired on 102.5 WBOC, 93T The Beach, Big 107.7 The Duck, and Coast Country. Big congrats to Diana.
It's a pretty nice prize. It's actually hotter here than it was in Disney World. Lewis, right now 85 degrees, another warm night under partly cloudy skies. You want to get that workout in early tomorrow morning because it's going to warm up once again. 84 degrees by 10, on our way to the lower 90s. And yes, those mosquitoes are out there and they are ravaging with the humidity, and we're going to see the very high humidity and very high mosquitoes through the weekend. Sean McNamara, you're the winner of our umbrella, Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, and you can get your forecast anytime by dialing our First Alert weather phone. We get a bit of a cool down into Friday, but we stay unsettled through the weekend. Not a complete washout, staying in the lower 90s through Tuesday. 4th of July right now looking pretty good, Christina. 87 degrees under mostly sunny skies.
All right, love to see that. Thanks, Chris, and thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon's up next. We'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.